Don't go anywhere. It's coming right now. If you want to move in, consolidate some seats together. Those of you in the front, eat some of these nuts and fruit. They look great.
Thank you for the big applause.
Everybody, give a warm welcome. All right.
So they cut our film, but we have another one later on another film. It was too.
Wait, so what do you want me to do here?
No.
We're just talking.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's. I'm gonna turn. You guys face the audience. You don't need to see me. All right, here we go. All right. So first off, I'll just have you guys introduce yourselves and talk about what CDLP is.
Great. So my name is Larson. I'm the creative director of a 3-year-old men's underwear brand, and also now swimwear and other kind of menswear associated products. Previously, I'm a filmmaker, photographer, shooting campaigns for world-renowned brands and artists.
My name is Andreas. I'm the co-founder, together with Christian, and CEO of CDLP. I have a background in primarily as an entrepreneur in brand marketing.
Awesome. So, CDLP, underwear. Tell us the company.
Yeah, I think we are the men's underwear disruptor. There's a lot of men in here. I think at least some of you wear underwear.
I hope so.
I hope so, yeah. And it's been a very kind of dated category with not much innovation for a lot of years. So what we did was to come in and 3 years ago disrupt it. Disrupted by a new type of product made in a new type of fabric called lyocell, made from wood pulp, a sustainable material which beats cotton on all fronts. And then also disrupting the way that men are portrayed in men's underwear marketing and advertising.
Nice. All right. So a lot of people let's say you're disruptive. I believe you definitely are, based on our conversation today. So, what makes you disruptive? So we have the existing brands out there. You think about Hanes. What's the market you're going into, and how are you attacking it?
Right. So the men's underwear market is basically owned by a couple of big brands. If you're looking at the U.S. market, you have Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, and a couple of more. And the interesting thing with the men's underwear market is that they're all kind of owned by these big brands, and they all license their underwear businesses out to a separate identity. They produce underwear, and they all make it over in China. And after a bit of research, we realized that they all make it in the same city. About 80% of men's underwear is made from the same city.
This is like in the world.
In the world.
All right.
Yeah. The underwear city.
Chinese market dominating underwear. Who knew?
Exactly. And the interesting thing was that it's also no difference between the brands. They're the same materials, same product, same thing. The only thing difference is the waistband logo type that keeps changing. But essentially, it's the same product that we're all being sort of taught to wear since we're kids.
And of course, we had to go there before launching. So we looked at producing in Europe, but we also had to go to the underwear city, 4 hours north of Hong Kong, and we just sat down there and said we want to make the best underwear in the world. But there's really no incentive for them to do something different, because they make a lot of money just doing it on license.
And the key here is that underwear for men has always been seen as a necessity. It's just a thing that you kind of need in your wardrobe. And me and Andreas were best friends and traveling a lot and sharing hotel rooms because we were poor. And when you share hotel rooms, you see each other in underwear. And we like to care about what we wear, but we saw each other in underwear and was like, what the hell are you wearing, dude? What is that? So I think the design, the aesthetics, and the feel of putting on men's underwear just gave you nothing in comparison to the other garments that you care about, your sneakers, your jacket, your watch, everything else. So we noticed a difference in our own behavior, that we actually cared about what the underwear looked like and what they felt like. And we noticed that, or we hoped that there was other people like us out there that would start to care about this category.
Okay, so I myself, we talked about this for breakfast, I'm using this example. I myself am a Hanes Fruit of the Loom guy. I bought like 10 of the same underwear, keeping it simple, all that stuff. So what does your brand do for someone like me?
Right, so we're all kind of been taught to wear cotton underwear. That's, our mom taught us to wear cotton underwear, and it's sort of given us nothing. So if you break it down to look at the product itself, as I said, it's all made in the same underwear city. And cotton underwear is what we've taught to be good. But if you dissect cotton as a material and the purpose for underwear, it's terrible, right? Cotton is, first of all, a terrible fabric because it's really bad in the way it's produced. It takes out so much water to produce cotton. It's really bad for the environment. So here's the first problem. Secondly, it absorbs moisture, and men tend to sweat a bit more than women do. And it's really bad choice for the purpose of wearing as the first layer garment, right? It doesn't take Einstein to understand that, but still, we've just never been presented with an option. Thirdly, color. Cotton holds color really badly, so if you want to wear black underwear or any other color, if you wear cotton underwear, you all know that if you wash black underwear, after 4 washes, they're gray. So that's another thing. And thirdly, it's a lot of bacteria that absorbs in cotton. It's just really, really bad. So we looked at textile innovation in the last 20 years, and it's been a lot of things has been happening. So in the end, we settle for a fabric called lyocell. And why is lyocell incredible? Well, first of all, it's a fully sustainable fabric made of wood pulp. So compared to cotton, it absorbs no water or very little, and it's all kind of done in a closed loop circle. So lyocell is a super sustainable fabric. That's number one. Secondly, it transports moisture and is super breathable. Thirdly, it holds color about 4 times better than cotton. And lastly, it's an incredible fabric to wear. It really feels like a premium thing that you wear. So that's what we did with the product. We completely redesigned the way that the product felt and how it performed. And that's what we got notice from right when we launched.
And also, I would say, when we were looking at each other in these hotel rooms, what we didn't like about underwear is the big logos that you have. So that was also, apart from the fabric, it was something we wanted to take away.
So you're taking away the logos.
Yeah, so we have a really subtle logo that's like tone in tone on the backside. But most brands have huge logos on the waistband. So when you see underwear sticking up from the on the waistband line, you see these big logos. And I think 20 years ago, we were proud to show that we paid $20 or $25 for a pair of underwear and wanted to show the logo. Most people, they don't want to show that anymore. So you essentially pay for a logo that you don't want to pay.
Got it.
That you don't want to show.
Okay, so
that we removed that too.
So you know, now we know about the underwear.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't come here thinking we were going to talk for 7 minutes about underwear. Wait, so is there a film or not?
No, but no, there's not.
Okay.
But I'm going to get to that because the other part of the men's underwear business is that it's been marketed in a very kind of homogenic way. It's all been a very dated view on men and masculinity in men's underwear marketing. It's all kind of athletic boys, models, oiled up in a black and white photo studio. So when we launched our product, which was first of all amazing, and we directly got fantastic reviews in GQ, Esquire, Vogue, all of it. The second part of it is the branding. So how do you brand a underwear disruptive product or a disruptive product in the underwear category? Well, we looked at the way men are portrayed and we wanted to present a new view on men and masculinity in this category. So instead of shooting undressed men without character, we started to talk about masculinity. We started to talk about what makes a good man and what should we all feel like when we put on underwear in the morning. And we've done numerous kind of content and collaborations on this topic, and one of them was with the artist Sting. So we have a little clip of that film, and it's a new way of talking about masculinity in the category. So let's play that.
Let's play a clip, huh? See some Sting.
I enjoy my masculinity. I'm not ashamed of my masculinity. But I feel I'm in touch with, enough of what my mother gave me to feel balanced. Often people have this false idea that masculinity is just being tough and hard and resilient and obstinate. That's an imbalance. I think we are made up of what our fathers gave us and what our mothers gave us, and finding that balance, that makes life much more interesting.
Nice. All right, so tell me the genesis of this.
Yeah, so the genesis is that men's underwear used to be very macho. And what we've done is we've taken away the macho part and instead talk about what men should be like. And I think the timing of this was perfect. We're coming from the whole Me Too movement and, the most untrendy thing was to be a man. So we started to talk about what's a new version of a great masculinity, of great features of being a man. So we talked about a bunch of people about this, and it turned out to be all these different kind of films. And the way it resonated with our audience was incredible. So we've had features in everything from Purple Magazine to New York Times to Forbes to Financial Times.
This piece. Like
Yeah,
that.
this piece and similar pieces, in a way of talking about a way of portrayal of men and masculinity in a very new way.
So just kind of breaking it down. So how many pieces of these are there? Like this?
Films and well, we've done about 3 or 4 of these kind of talking pieces, in addition to our product collaborations.
So product collaborations, these talking pieces, artists like Sting, other people, 3 or 4 pieces. All right, let's talk about the strategy. A lot of people here asking about strategy for a lot of us here as marketers. All right, so you got the 3 or 4 pieces. You got the headlining star in this Sting, worldwide, known worldwide as an artist. All right, you make the pieces. What do you do with the pieces? What's the next strategy?
Exactly. So here's the interesting part, I think, what people are here to see and be inspired about. And that is, how do you launch a D2C brand nowadays, right? So we are a disruptor in our product, but we can't just go out and talk about our product. We need to talk about bigger subjects. We need to talk about something that gives us context in the world, something that will make press write about it. So that's what we did. We kind of zoomed out from our product and we put our product into a greater context of saying, okay, this product is actually something that people put on in the morning. People think about how they look like, what they look like in the mirror, very undressed. Mm-hmm. It's about masculinity and being a man. So we zoomed out and created a subject that was much more wider. And by doing so and placing our brand in this context, we were able to get these news headlines.
Got it. So please correct me if I've got this analysis wrong, okay? But just as someone who's looking at this from like the coming right into this, having literally just seen that, having met you guys, this morning. So I see a piece of content. It's got a social awareness spin to it. I look at this. It's a social awareness spin that presumably I care about, that it resonates with me. I look into this. I like Sting as an artist. I look into it deeper, and I find your brand, and your brand messaging is aligned with this social messaging, and thus you have a campaign.
Correct.
Wow. Got it. Damn.
But
we just did it.
I think also I want to add that Sting is obviously a very strong name. It's a strong brand in itself. But I would say that the most press we have received is just the visual imagery that Christian has produced. So Christian shoots all photographies and videos himself.
Yeah.
I think that's what we got even more press from the fashion community than we got for the product and for the fabric. It's just this way of Christian just continuously portraying men in a new way. It's a huge part of the strategy, even more so than the Sting part. Yeah,
to be a small band and actually have a point of view, actually have a tone of voice. I think that's really key. I mean, if you look on your Instagram feed of all the new direct-to-consumer brands that have been launching the last few years, it's full. Like, I can't, I keep scrolling. It's just, I do the best sneakers. This company do the best trousers.
Well, we do have good sneakers here today, all 3 of us. I mean, it's pretty good.
So the feed is full of all these new direct-to-consumer brands. So I think what we really realized and what we've managed to do really well is to, when we launch, to put our product in a greater context, to zoom out of the products and have themes to talk about, to put our product into relevance of society, and in that way create a bigger conversation about our brand. And what does that do in the end? Well, it's really about branding. And I think branding more important than ever, really, to brand yourself as a small direct-to-consumer brand, because the feed is full of all these new brands.
Yep.
And secondly, you have no loyalty to these products. If you end up buying them, you have zero loyalty if you don't care about the brand. Mm-hmm. So these two things, I mean, us especially, we're a product that is all about repurchasing. That's it's our business. We want people to buy one pair, come back for 3, 9, and then buy for the rest of their lives. So the brand loyalty is so important. That's why we need to invest more in branding, and I think that's where a lot of people do the mistake of they're just talking about product and product features, and they forget about having a message.
Okay.
And in our case too, our category, we're going up against giants. So we're going up against the Calvin Kleins, the Hanes, as you say, the Ralph Laurens, the Tommy Hilfigers. So I think in our case, and if you come up in a category like ours and start as a direct-to-consumer brand, you need to be super clear in your communication and also show the customer your tone of voice very clearly.
Got it. So just let's open up for questions here. Just want to recap before we open it up for them. So CDLP is underwear brand. You've been around for 3 years. You started, and you still are omni-channel. Okay, but now most recently you've branched out. Now, where are you now? Where can we find the brand?
Well, we can find the brand in all the top retailers in the world. So we went omni right from the start. And the reason for that is simple too, branding. We need to validate our brand as a direct-to-consumer brand. So we're with Barney's, Selfridges, Harvey Nichols, all the cool stores in New York. And Mr. Porter is our most important collaborator, Matches Fashion. And then and that takes up about 50% of our revenue.
Amazing. All right, let's open up for questions. Who's got a question about anything? Here we go. All right. Over here first. I'm coming to you second. One second. Right into the mic.
Yeah, my question is about the branding. You talk about lots about the branding. But my question is, only to focus on the branding despite of your product or your service, first you need to work more on your product and service, make it near to 100%, and then go for the branding. If we go for the branding first and forget about our product and service and the deliverability, it's not going to help us in any way. It's just a wastage of money and time. What do you think about it?
Do you mean it's a trade-off between making a great product or great branding?
No. So if you are focusing much on the branding but not about your product and service, it's not going to make a sense. I understand in your context, you are going for the wider, adding value to your audience to have the long-term relationship with them through your branding. But the bottom line is to sell your product or service, which is, in your case, is underwears. So if it is not really good for anyone, how it's going to help you to sell more? Your brand is there to sell more by bringing awareness to your audience. But if the product or the service is not good enough, like your customer service or your product is not good enough, so what's the use of having the branding and having the films and telling the stories?
Yeah, it all needs to line up, of course.
Yes.
It all needs to line up. You can't just build a brand and put out a shit product, you know? The product essentially must be fantastic. And so, we spend a lot of work making sure our product is fantastic. Our customer service, as you mentioned, also needs to be fantastic. So it all lines up. You're completely right.
So where should I start first? Should I start from my product and service?
100% product.
Product.
100%.
We spent over 2 years perfecting the product before we even went to market. Meanwhile, we were doing the product. We had a clear vision of what we wanted the brand to be. And Christian had his vision of what he wanted it to look like and feel like. But you need to start with a product that is best in class. Otherwise, you just spend money on building brand that is just going to, you're not going to be able to get the money back. So product first.
All right, guys. So you guys have mentioned about how you went up against giants, right? And these are companies that have been out there for decades, right? So, I mean, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could shed some light on maybe the initial challenges or how you guys try to, market digitally against, going up against those. That'd be nice.
The giants that you speak about, their big weakness is that they're giants. So they've been doing the same thing for a long time. So no one is at Tommy Hilfiger is questioning, why are we still doing underwear in cotton? Why are we still doing huge logos? Whereas if you come, from the outside perspective like we did, you can just start everything from scratch and be like, this is what we want to do, this is what we produce. So we see a lot of the giants that copy us. We see their campaigns and we see their fabrics they choose. It takes a long time for them to, when we already have a head start, it's just hard for them to copy and just imitate what we do.
Yeah, they're not going to care the first few years. They haven't cared about us until now. On the biggest, in Scandinavia where we're from, the biggest department store, we went from, number 5, number 4, number 3, and now we're beating Calvin Klein and all the other underwear. We're the biggest selling brand. So all of a sudden we see, whoa, certainly we get people watching us, people asking about weird questions, emails, and all this. And the Calvin Klein's last campaign, you can literally see frame by frame, as a lot of campaign imagery is very accurate to what we do.
So I think also getting partners on board, like when we got Mr. Porter, Barney, Selfridges, and so forth, that was a message to the consumer that we are, a force to be reckoned with as a new brand. So getting the right partners on board to validate the brand was super important, and just believe in what you're trying to achieve, I think. And not to have too much respect for the giants, because they don't deserve it.
All right, we are out of time. Give a big hand of applause for Christian and Andreas from CDLP. Check
you.
them out. Buy some
Thank you so
underwear. Or market with them. They're great. Next up, we have Stephanie Peterson from Adidas. We'll just quickly transition out. They're sticking around, I assume, if you want to grab them for some questions. Stephanie, it's going to transition you in. They gave us literally no time for this transition, so I'm really sorry. If you guys have open seats between you in the middle, kind of squeeze in a little bit. We've been kind of a little bit of SRO here, standing room only. Coming up, Stephanie. Give Stephanie a big round of applause. Oh, we got music. Have a seat, have a seat. I'm gonna give you this mic.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna grab their mic later. But, all right, let's get into this. Right into it. All right. How, you just got in? Hold on a
Just
second.
got in yesterday.